Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with our weekly video of Black girls on television. You guys know we are talking about Being Mary Jane, we are talking about Empire, we are talking about Scandal, and we are talking about How to Get Away with Murder. I broke one of my most cardinal rules just a few minutes ago. I just had my lunch. I was starving and I ate it. So yeah, I'm tired. I've got the itis real strong, y'all. I never eat before my videos because it makes me not be focused. Nigga want to go to sleep. But anyway, we gonna get through this video, you guys. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys. So first up, Being Mary Jane. So I thought this second episode was a little bit better because it just wasn't harping on, the fact that Mary Jane doesn't have her man. This time around, we kind of tackling a couple of issues in the community. The first one being human trafficking. The second one being coming out of the closet to your parents. So first, human trafficking, you guys, it's a scary thought, but more and more I'm realizing that it is a reality, especially here in Atlanta. They say that Atlanta is one of the top places for human trafficking. I'm not really sure why. Maybe because the adult industry is so big here. I'm not really sure why, but that's what they say. And yeah, when she said when they were talking, and the guy tells Mary Jane in the car that sometimes they'll just grab a girl off of the street and sell them into the into this whole sex trade, I was just flabbergasted about that. That shit was scary to me because I have a 13-year-old daughter. Jada doesn't have much, she's not normally by herself, but it's just a scary thought that, my child, any of our children, that are girls that are 13, 14, 15 could just be snatched up and sold away. So, yeah, that little conversation that they had in the car when they were, scoping out, when she was doing research for her segment on the news station, that was really an eye-opener for me. And I'm always super worried for Jada anyway, and I know she thinks that I'm just being ridiculous. I think us being here in Atlanta has made me be more comfortable than if I was in Los Angeles because, in LA's gang violence and things like that. So when we moved here, I was thinking that we were doing my kids a favor by taking them out of that, and we kind of in the suburbs, not really. No, but what I'm saying. We in a subdivision and all of this. You get all this false sense of security. Yeah, it was interesting to see that and hear them talking to the girl, and I know there's other reasons why these girls get snatched up, but it just scared me that something so innocent as my daughter walking home from one of her friends' house and that she could get snatched up. So yeah, that was one thing. And then the gay guy. I'm going to do so much better on my videos and knowing the people's names on these shows. I don't really remember anybody's names. I feel like I watch so many damn shows now. So many people to try to keep track of. The gay guy, who's also the news reporter, best friend to Mary Jane, he evidently hadn't come out to his parents that he was gay. So his parents are coming to visit from out of town. So he tells his white gay boyfriend that he wants, Mary Jane to serve as his beard, and for the the boyfriend to just kind of get the hell out. To me, he was being very, very callous. Okay, I understand that he's nervous about his parents and all of that, but how you gonna be with somebody when you claim to love this person and then just totally dismiss their feelings? Who the fuck wants to get put out of their own house because you only had the nerve enough to let your parents know that you're gay? If that was his decision to do that, I think he should have just been a little bit less like, what do you want me to say? So anyway, the white guy leaves out. The parents come. What's the lady's name? I like her. I can't remember. Remember the movie she was in with Terrence Howard? She played, I can't even think of the name of the... Anyway, I was cracking up when when they was sitting there, with Mary Jane, and the guy was sitting there talking, and, they're giving all of these, all these stories. They coming up, they're all knee slapping funny, it's all, they're in love, they snuggled up and everything. The dad is listening and laughing, and mama's sitting there like this. She's like, Brian Williams, nigga, you lying. He's going on, and she was just like, baby, sit down. Sit down. I know that you're gay. He tried to play it off and say he wasn't, and she was just like, I know it. We ain't got to go through all of this, all this fucking made up stories and wasting my damn time. So It was so funny to me that the dad just was clueless. He was just like, the mom had never talked to the dad about it, obviously. The son had never talked to the mom or the dad about it. And then it was an interesting angle. The dad was upset with him for not telling him that he was gay. The dad felt like he didn't raise a liar and that he raised a man that would, stand up for himself in any kind of circumstance. So I don't know, maybe a tiny bit unrealistic, because I feel like if you are going to have a problem with your son being gay, okay, you're not going to sit there and be mad at the fact that he didn't tell you when you just sat up there and said you was homophobic, so that part was just a little bit, I was just like, but maybe it could happen. The fact that the mother is more accepting than the father, I imagine that it must be much more difficult for the father to come to terms with their son being gay than a mother. The mother has the whole maternal instinct, so father got egos and male pride, and I'm a man and I raised a man, and so it'd be all this other shit that come in. Mamas just love their babies. So that was it for being Mary Jane. It was good to see that the lady that works, her producer, she might be getting her some, okay? She just so fucking, always working and never having any fun. Looks like she done met somebody that might be the match for her. He wasn't, the cutest. He wasn't ugly. He was an average looking man, but he had some kind of something about him, you guys. I tell you, I loves me a man with, me and my girlfriends, we call him a Sue. And, a Sue is somebody who actually is very good looking and makes you go, ooh. He wasn't really a Sue, but he had the Sue-like qualities on the inside, y'all. So anyway, we're going to see what happens with her. But it's going to be good to see maybe she might have a love interest. So we ain't got to keep on harping on Mary Jane and her non-man having ass. So that was it. The human trafficking thing, yeah, it really was an eye-opener though. And then, because she was feeling so bad about the girl who she was talking to for her for her story, the girl was only 15 years old, had dropped out of high school. She started to immediately think of her niece and, the baby's there. And so she started to realize that, damn, it could be a lot worse. Yeah, my niece ain't necessarily, the most established in her life right now, but, I can't like put her out on the streets, because the streets is gonna eat this baby up. So that was it for being Mary Jane. You guys know I said that these reviews are not really reviews. It's just we just discussing the show. And those were the main points of the show that I got out of it. You guys go on and leave in the comments, anything else you got to add on any of these shows. Empire is getting good. Empire is getting good. I felt like the first couple of episodes was making me feel like it was almost going to be Tyler Perry-ish. But now I think we getting down to the meat of the acting and the writing. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And besides that, the show is doing very well. I think they said 11.6 million viewers this last week. On top of that, the damn soundtrack for the show is really good, and you can buy it on iTunes. So that show is, man, Lee Daniels has a hit there. That damn Cookie, she is something else, when she showed up in that damn fur coat with her little corseted lingerie on, okay, thinking that her and Lucius was about to get some shit started, and only to find out that, Lucius and the girl were engaged. Oh my God, when she opened up that thing and turned around and showed her ass, I was just like, oh my God, this Cookie is a mess. But we love Cookie. I think we love Cookie because Cookie does and says a lot of things that the average woman that, we want to do and say, but we cannot do and say. In regular life, you can't do this shit, okay? I don't know what she was gonna do at the fucking restaurant with just a goddamn lingerie and a fur coat on. I mean, you gotta eat, right? You reaching over to the salad and you got your shit just getting in the salad dress and everything. Like, well, you gonna take it off or what were you gonna do? So shit is starting to happen on the show. Lucius did finally admit to New York Undercover, I don't know what his name is on the show, that he killed Bunky. New York Undercover is not too happy about that. I mean, evidently they all grew up together. Bunky has been a ride or die all this time, and Lucius was like, yeah, that's all fine and good, but the nigga came to my house, he threatened me. I was like, you forgot to tell him he pulled a gun on you, because honey, when somebody pull a gun on you that you consider family or a friend or something, that changes up all of the everything, okay? Nigga, you ain't gonna come in my house and pull a gun on me. Either you gonna gonna shoot me or I'm gonna shoot your ass. I don't really know what's going on with New York Undercover in that son, honey. When he went in that room and choked that son out, like, nigga, I thought we was working together and you knew that your dad killed Bunky. And I was just like, not the choke out. I wasn't really sure why New York Undercover felt that he had to get Lucius out of that, other than maybe he felt like he was pulled in and it was going to already look like he was guilty as well, because the son had given Lucius an alibi. And is he the lawyer? Is he the lawyer for the company? I'm not sure what New York Undercover is. I think he's the lawyer. I'm loving that storyline. I did not think that Lucius was going to even admit that he killed Bunky, but he did. So the secret is out. And Lucius is getting sicker and sicker. He's starting to have his shakeups, and you know, he's starting to lose a little bit of control of his motor functions and things like that. So it's looking like shit is getting pretty bad for him. He decides to do some kind of experimental drug over in Russia. Because I guess, I mean, you know, when you've been told that you are going to die, I'm assuming that you're going to fight for your life in any way. And especially if you got the money, you know, for experimental treatments. That's what everybody keep on saying that Magic Johnson did, even though he swear he didn't. What else is happening on the show? Like I said, the soundtrack, you know, there's some catchy tunes on there. I mean, we like the Drip Drippity Drop song, and this song that Jamal sang, Dead on Justin Timberlake. You can tell that Timbaland has a lot of influence. He's the musical director, I believe, for the show. And you can tell, the songs that especially he sings, all ring familiar to Justin Timberlake's, what was the name of that CD? The one with Cry Me a River on it? Which was it? You guys know which one I'm talking about, the dark blue one. I didn't realize that that was actually the Jussie Smollett boy that was actually singing the song, so I guess he's, you know, he's going to maybe launch some sort of singing career, as well as the kid that raps. You know, he's rapping really on the songs too. The little the youngest brother. So they're all talented, and that's another good thing to see, is you got multi-talented people on the show. I mean, even Terrence Howard can rap and play all these instruments, and then you have Taraji. You know, we can't forget that she sings and all that. Yeah, so it's good. They've got the Courtney Love character, who's, I'm assuming, almost sort of like based on an Amy Winehouse almost. Not so much as the coming back or anything, but just kind of the drug addict. And man, that Courtney Love, she, whew, you can tell that she has had an involved life, right? Boy, I've always liked Courtney Love. I actually like her singing voice before. I don't know if she can still sing like she used to, but I used to like Courtney Love's music. I haven't heard anything of hers recently, but it's cool that, you know, Taraji, that's her, you know, her rah-rah story. I mean, you can kind of see how all these stories is going to finally come full circle for Taraji. Don't know how long it's going to take, but between the middle son that she's managing and the Courtney Love girl and the other little black chick that she's managing on the show, I mean, these are all kind of almost underdogs that, you know, she's being there for. What about the gay guy? What about the boyfriend? I mean, you know, now we didn't accept it, the boy, that's his boyfriend or whatever. He is starting to be very, very insecure. Now, I know that Cookie told him that he needs to prepare himself, that fame changes people and all of that, but to me, he is over the top. He's whiny, you know. When he got mad that the boy had to do an interview, I was just like, no, what the fuck is you mad that he got an interview for? Like, do we have to tell you every single step that we make? Or maybe it was just something that was forgotten in passing. I mean, something that you would find out about, but you know, him, you know, just being on Jamal is going to be the surefire way that he's going to be kicked to the curb. I mean, we all see that one coming. And I'm sure he's going to pitch a bitch fit when he finds out, oh, girl that came at the end of the show, Raven Simone's character, when she came at the end of the show, what's her name? Olivia? No. Lola? Was the child's name Olivia and her name was Lola? Anyway, when she came at the end of the show and said that Jamal was the little girl's father, you know, it was something that we know is going to be a little bit of drama in Jamal's life, and that little gay one ain't going to be able to handle it. It was very interesting to me that when she was trying to get into the building, she kept on talking about Lucius. Now, if you there to see Jamal and that's your, your baby's daddy, why are you there to see Lucius? And Lucius kind of rolled his eyes like, oh my God, like he didn't want to see her. I was just like, so is there something going on with the girl and Lucius? Or does he just know that, she had messed around with the son? I mean, he's so upset about him being gay. Seemed like he would be happy, in his own fucked up mind that at least he knew that Jamal been with a girl at one time. But anyway, that was it for Empire. Did you guys enjoy Empire? Like I said, it's getting really good. It is a bummer that it's on when Blackish is on. I heard Blackish was really, really good. I am going to watch that this weekend. Scandal last night. Now, I did enjoy this episode a little bit more than I have these last couple of episodes since it's gotten back from its winter hiatus. Olivia is off to, they've carried her off to wherever they carried her off to, and she's going to be auctioned off on the market. Now, it was real hard for me, and maybe y'all can explain it to me. I'm trying to figure out, they auctioning her off for what? I mean, what is she about to do? When whoever buys her takes her, then what? What is she gonna be their woman? Is she gonna be their sex slave? Is she gonna... I mean, I just really wasn't understanding what was going on with this whole auctioning thing, She was there. The guy who originally had kidnapped her, that she had gotten into his head and said, are you going to be a babysitter or are you going to be a boss? With her little lisp that she has. He was running shit until a old crazy boy came in there and shot his ass right next to Olivia. The blood and shit had been splattered all over her sweater and everything. Okay, kind of set that damn Olivia back a couple of pegs. Because, honey, Olivia, she was feeling herself, she's powerful. I'm worth a lot. People that were looking for me. And you see how powerful I am. I was like, that's why your motherfucking ass is sitting in this room with this crazy fool pointing a gun at you. The auction got off to be up to $1 billion. Everybody is trying to figure out. It's on this thing called the dark net. And that is some internet atmosphere that nobody can get on unless you are invited on by all these terrorist groups. The terrorist groups evidently work on this thing called the dark net. The president had enlisted Jake because of his B-52 connection. He wanted Jake and them to try to figure out where Olivia is. So, Jake and Hook and oh girl, they trying to figure it out, and then they find out about the dark net and how they have to be invited in by the terrorists. So of course their number one all-star terrorist is what they called it, would be Olivia's mother. So they go to the jail, the mama's under super high underground security. They negotiate some shit, and she says that they can use her name to make contact with this other terrorist, out in the real world to get in on this auctioning. And I'm jumping around because I don't feel like going into all of it, but there's this part when Jake and Huck go to make contact with this person, and there were some people that was in the way, and Olivia's mama has said that they needed to kill these guys, and then they would be able to get the password to get onto the network and all of that. That goddamn Huck go in there, and you know how he like to kill people. Well, honey, when I tell you Huck he jumped all the way up into this killing, I was like, I am really afraid. Like, I am uncomfortable when I watch Huck on TV now. It's not even before we used to he had this quality of, you liked him. He was still likable, but now the motherfucker is just crazy. I don't even know if I like that they've done this to Huck. I know that he lives his life on Olivia, and he lives and breathes and everything is Olivia. However, when he had been killed, that Huck went the fuck off in that room. Okay, I was just like, God damn, it looked like a goddamn killing tornado just blew through there. These niggas was, their guts was out, and their bones and their heads, it was holes and blood, and the fucking furniture was all turned up. The nigga couldn't have been in there more than 10 minutes. When Jake went in there, You know, they took care of the business they needed to take care of, but Jake was like, something is wrong with this motherfucker. And I'm not talking about just a little bit off. Old girl kept saying he's gonna be fine, you know, once Olivia gets back. But he was just like, Jake was just like, but what if she don't get back? I got the motherfucker out here who might just do a whole lot. I can't turn him loose to the world. So yeah, I don't know. I like Hook, but I can't. I'm scared of him. Like, he was scary last night. But he did make sense. He was letting them know, like, look, you guys are doing all of this, and Olivia is a dead person, okay? They are going to auction her off. They're going to take her over to Iran, and then, you know, they're going to use her body, literally, to get the president of the United States to do whatever they want him to do. You know, they'll send her a finger, and then they might, you know, use a limb, a couple of ribs. You know, he just broke it down for him because shit. Hook is definitely about that life, okay? So, yeah, you know, it looks like they have auctioned, you know, the bid went over $1.5 million, I think. And she's off to what we think is Iran. But next week, it looks like it's not really going to be Iran. When they take the bag off her head, she looks like she has like a different expression on her face, so... That was it with Scandal. I'm sure I left a lot out. That was the gist of it. Oh, also Olivia and Melly. They have the strangest marital relationship. But maybe they're just going to end up being friends. We find out that Melly has, you know, presidential ambitions. She wants to run for president in the future, and so she was just like, you know, we're gonna have to let Andrew go. We're gonna have to let him off the hook. We're not gonna be able to persecute him, because if he gets loose, he is gonna tell about our affair. You know, Andrew was just like, shit, if you guys make me get in trouble, then I'm gonna tell the whole world that, honey, you dropped it down low and spread it out wide. But anyway, that was it with Scandal. How are you guys enjoying Scandal still? You guys still with it? I will say that out of these 4 shows that I'm doing, Scandal is my least favorite. And lastly, How to Get Away with Murder. Y'all was on my couch last night, and boy, it was rough. But, you know, they found the body. They found the body of Annalise's husband. The sister has made up in her mind that it is Annalise who is guilty. When people are saying, you know, like that sister is a fucking bitch and she's gone on doing all of this. But the whole thing is, if that was your damn brother, you would feel the same way. I've noticed that there has been like a little bit of a racial undertone here. I think it's funny that Shonda uses that a lot, because it's also has been very prevalent in Scandal, you know. And it's a little bit of the same thing here. You know, the girl is calling Annalise a whore. And I guess she was the mistress to Sam before, you know, she and Sam finally made the shit official. So that's an interesting little twist to it. But, yeah, the shit is starting to hit the fan for sure. Annalise is trying to hold it all together, so she's not trying to give up on her regular work cases, and nobody can believe it. It's like, you being accused of murder and you still taking, you know, cases with the mob. I mean, she was just like, oh, hell no. Y'all not dropping me from this case. I am going to be the lawyer, and I'm going to win this case for you, and all of that. Even the kids, even the students are just like, what is it with this woman, and she's still working, and we got this shit that we got to worry about? The sister, like I said, has been all over the police wanting them to do a search warrant in the house. And after they went to court for it, and old Blondie went in there and blew the shit, okay, they did the search warrant of the house. And, you know, I was real stressed out because, you know, we knew that man had hit his head and flipped over the banister and fell down and bled all over the fucking place. Ain't no telling where the shit splashed in there. Signs of struggle, all of that. But they weren't able to find anything. Okay, Annalise really went through that house and cleaned that shit up, obviously. Not before old Blondie has figured out that Annalise knows something. She starts to put it together, put 2 and 2 together. She realizes that, you know, Sam was killed with a blunt force object to the head. And, you know, the statue had been missing that night before, because you guys remember the guy that she was fucking. He was actually looking for his statue. A part of the damn statue was back behind a chair or something like that. And, you know, Blondie got to thinking about shit, and she was just like, okay, Annalise, honey, I'm trying to tell you right now, you are not going to get away with this, okay? I know you're trying to protect these kids, because she also had asked if Annalise's car was home when old boy had went over there to get his statue, and he was like, no, she wasn't there, but one of the kids' car was in the driveway, so that let her know that Annalise wasn't there. Some shit had went down in the house, and they killed Sam. But Annalise, honey, she's trying to keep it together. She's still talking to her, you know, she's still talking to her affair boyfriend, and she's still working hard, and, you know, she's trying to keep the shit straight, okay? But at the end of the show, the police come to the house and tell her, you know, that she needs to come on and talk to them because they done found some shit in the woods behind the house. We find out that they found this ring, and we automatically think that it's the black girl's ring because, you know, we all know that the black girl lost her engagement ring when they was trying to dispose of the body, and she didn't know where it was, and they didn't know where it was, so we automatically think that. Come to find out that it's actually Sam's wedding ring. This was like the biggest part of the show. I was just like, what? I was just getting frustrated because, okay, his ring is in the backyard. It looked like somebody had just threw the ring back there, but then we find out that old boy had then went in there and lifted the fingerprints off of a glass that Annalise's affair boyfriend was drinking, lifted the damn fingerprints off of there and put it on the ring, you guys, and then threw the ring in the backyard. So it's been set up that the affair boyfriend is the one that killed Sam because his fingerprints is on the wedding ring. I couldn't figure out if Annalise knew that her co-worker guy was going to do that, or if she was just hoping he was going to get rid of the ring, but then she couldn't say nothing. You know, when they arrested him, and the black guy is just like, okay, kind of had like, he had an idea that he might get implicated because he was having an affair with her, and then all of a sudden her husband shows up dead. And she's kind of just looking shell-shocked. So I was just like, is she protecting the kids like the kids think? Or did she not know he was going to do that? Or, you know, so I was confused about that ending. But yeah, poor little Annalise, honey. Annalise got in that bed and she was all crying and everything. And she reached over and she got the phone and she called somebody and she said, Mommy, I need you. I was just like, oh, Annalise need her mama. Next week, her mother's gonna be on the show. I was like, Lord, not Cicely Tyson. You know when Annalise take that fucking wig off and she just have her natural shit going on up there. We got Cicely Tyson on the show with, you know, her shiny, Vaseline over ashiness. That shit gonna look like a goddamn Roots segment next week. Alright, you guys, so that's it. I like this Black Girls on TV videos. Very easy. I don't have to be remembering too much because we just discussing, y'all. That's all we doing. Let me get on back to work. You guys remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright? Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.